What's going on YouTube? This is Reese here. Today we are going to be installing a jet kit in the carburetors on a 2005 Kawasaki Brute Force 650 V-twin. And y'all know, if you've seen my four-wheeler before, some of my other videos, I did some other things to it, just hooking it up. But I wanted to go ahead. The reason I got the carbs off is I had a problem. The needle and seat I know is trashed up. I don't know when these carbs have been off. I've owned the four-wheeler for about 5 years now, and they've not been off since I've had them. I noticed I was riding today, looked up underneath because I smelled gas. I had gas just pouring out all over the carbs. So needle and seats are stopped up. You can tell these carbs they're pretty dirty. I did not do a video taking them off of the four-wheeler, because it was just a pain in the butt. I did label front and rear. That's important for the jet kit because the rear jet, the rear carb uses a bigger main jet than the front one does. But I haven't even ordered the jet kit yet. I'm gonna go online and see what kind I want. Jet kit and dang, I can't talk tonight. A jet kit, and I want to also. I had a Moose Racing air filter that is pretty much shot. So it's time for a new one, so I'm gonna go ahead and order a new air filter as well, and go ahead, since I have most of the body panels off, go ahead and do a exhaust install, a full exhaust. So something I've been wanting to do for a while, just haven't felt like doing it, been lazy, but this has been a major problem. Cannot ride it because it's just pouring gas out. So I'm gonna fix this, clean it up. I'll probably go ahead and just put the float bowls back on after I clean everything, and I'll just let it sit, and I'll come back and whenever my jet kit comes in and install my main jet and pilot jets. But right now, let's go ahead. We're gonna open these up. Well, first I'm gonna clean this thing off, and then we'll go ahead and open them up. So hang tight. And you're gonna need a lot of this carb cleaner. Alright, so we got these carbs cleaned up pretty good. Some carb cleaner. I used a toothbrush and a rag. We got them cleaned up. Just, you know, you don't want to introduce any dirt into the carburetor, especially on those float bowls, you know, where you're trying to keep everything clean. But so anyway, got it cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead, pull this float bowl off here and see what the inside looks like. Alright, so we got the 4 screws removed here. Took the float bowl off. It's not really as dirty as I thought it was going to be, but there is a good bit of that soot and varnish settled at the bottom. It looks almost like kind of like rust color if you can see it down in there. It's probably like that on both of these carbs, so I'm going to remove everything and give it a good cleaning, and that's enough in there over time to get up and clog that needle and seat and have it overflowing gas. So we'll go ahead and get these cleaned up. Alright, so we got this float bowl cleaned out pretty good, and I always like to take the little screw, the drain screw that you take. It's right here. Allen screw goes in the bottom. I always like to take that out and blow some carb cleaner through there also, just to make sure everything's good and clean, because trash can settle down at the bottom of that, and it's a good idea just to blow that out and make sure the carb's as clean as possible. Alright, so this side I already cleaned it. It was about the same amount of trash in it as the other one had. Neither one of them really as bad as I expected they were going to be, but the reason I went ahead and did these both at the same time is because the fuel inlet right here, where the fuel comes in from the tank, comes down in here into the bowl. I'm going to take both of these out and take the carb cleaner and blow inside here, hold this one and blow that one out, and hold this one and blow that one out, just to make sure there's no trash inside this line and in here, because I blew this one out but realized when I take this one off, if I put this one back in, I could possibly be blowing trash back up into here. So I'm going to clean everything out and then put it back together. I'll probably hold off on taking out my main jet and the pilot jet just because I want to wait for the jet kit to come in. So I'll probably wait on doing that, and I'll just reassemble these and just leave them be till the parts come in. Alright guys, so it's safe to say, I think everybody knows what this is. Went ahead, got the Hmf Exhaust with the jet kit and a uni air filter. This was the whole package. Pretty sure everything's in here. It should be. We'll open up and see. But this is the Hmf Brute Force 650 05-13 slip-on exhaust. This is just the I got the brushed aluminum one. HMF jet kit came with it, and also they included a uni air filter, which I had a Moose Racing on it before. I liked it. It's pretty cool, but it was just deteriorated. Like when I took the airbox off changing, it was like coming apart in my hands. So it's time to change it. I'll throw this on there. I'll probably go with the twin air later in the future, but the whole kit, it was cheaper to get everything together, so I went ahead and said what the heck. It was a little I have to tell you exactly how much it was. I forgot. I think it was right around 300 bucks for everything, shipping and all. But anyway, we'll go ahead and open this up, see what's inside. Alright, so cutting the box open. Go ahead and open this up. Ooh, I'm excited. Feels like Christmas. Alright, so looks like we got the, I don't know what this is. This is probably some mountain hardware, clamps and stuff. Yeah, slip-on removal. We'll go ahead and see what all this says. Looks like I got some stickers in here or something. That's pretty cool. The new clamps, that'd be good, because my old ones are old. Alright. Got the uni air filter, got some uni stickers I can go ahead and throw on it. Check that bad boy out. That's right. Yep, that's it. And then, dun dun dun, got the Hmf, brand new. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. All right. Hmf Performance, Hmf 1 screen type forestry approved spark arrestor. Woo! Can you hear me? This thing ought to be nasty. Wow. Pretty nice, guys. It's got some weight to it. It's solid. I think it's still lighter than the stock exhaust because this is all aluminum. Not sure what the stock is, but it's supposed to, you know, it's a performance mod, so it's in all ways better than factory. So HMF has done their research. So they've got everything narrowed down to exactly get the most power out of it. Let's see what else. I don't think anything else is in here. So, oh well, yeah. There's a pipe. I'll need that. This is for one of the pieces. And flange and spark arrestor here, and looks like the jet kit might be inside, but we'll go ahead and open everything up and see. I mean, I can't just put these uni stickers on my four-wheeler, you know. I got to show some love to the old toolbox here and throw that bad boy right up there. That's what's up. Alright guys and gals, if you're watching, this is the Hmf jet kit developed specifically for my carb. My carb is a key-in carb. It uses key-in round jets. The Hmf jet kit uses key-in round jets, so it's very specific for this model. So flip it over. Kind of tells you what controls what. You can look this up on the the internet. It's a diagram of like the working of the throttle range of a carburetor, what controls what. So we'll go ahead, open this bag up real quick. I went ahead and labeled these earlier. Alright, so I got some jets in here. Now what is recommended with the pipe? Front 142, these are the main jets. A 142 front and a 145 rear. Now I wrote right here, you can see stock uses a 138. Now this is from the factory. A 138 front and a 142 rear. So we're jumping a little bit in between the front more so than the rear. And also, if you recall, I did label, the light hits it just right. You can see I labeled front and rear. I can see it fine, but I labeled it with a marker front and rear just so I remember which carb was actually what. But anyway, we'll go ahead and pull these float bowls off, and we'll pull these jets out, put the new ones in. And this is very simple, guys. With a flathead screwdriver, you just put it on right here. This is your main jet. This is the pilot jet. So this is the main jet. Just screw it counterclockwise until it comes out. Now this nut that's on here is an 8mm. If for whatever reason this is too tight and you're screwing that, you can always take a open end wrench, put it right here and turn, and that'll keep it steady so it doesn't move. But anyway, this is the factory, and you can see it's kind of dirty, it's got some junk up here around it, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be replacing this. And this is if you look at the little numbers, they're very small, hard to see, but this is a 138, and I am working on the front carb, and that is actually, if we look back here, stock, exactly what's in there. So I know that this carb has never been modified. So that is a 138 front main jet. We're going to be going to this big bad boy, the 142, and man, put this pipe on, this jet kit and that air filter, this thing ought to be rocking and rolling. I can't wait. Alright, so the 142 main jet has been installed in the front carb. Now we'll move on to the rear carb and install the 145. Alright guys, so it's always something. Nothing can ever be simple. So I go looking through the kit that they gave me, which was supposed to include, the basic kit was supposed to include everything except these two jets that they gave me. Which are these right here, a 150 and a 140, which I need neither one of those. I need a 145 for the rear, which I do not have. I've got a 148, which is recommended for the rear if you're doing a full exhaust, and I'm just doing the slip-on. And I have a 152, which is not recommended anywhere. So that's the problem I have. I could install the 148 in the rear. It wouldn't be right because it's not right. So I'm just gonna have to contact Hmf and try to get this fixed. So I figured I'd go ahead and just remove the rear main jet, just because speed up the process. I'll go ahead and take it out. I sent the seller a message. I actually ordered this kit off of eBay and I paid $295 for it, for everything. So it came with 2 sets of jets that weren't supposed to be included in the basic jet kit. Maybe they got the kit confused, I don't know. But anyway, I messaged the seller, told him I need a 145 main jet for the rear carb. So they were pretty good. Customer service, I spoke with them. Anyway, they shipped it out to me within like 2 days. So anyway, but I wanted to use this as an example, as what I mentioned on the front carb. When removing the main jet, if it turns, I did have to take, as you can see, this is 8mm. I did take 8mm, and I know I said open end, but I just got a closed end here, one of these ratcheting, and I took it, put it on here. It didn't take much, but just enough, because when I was turning this, it was turning the whole thing. So anyway, go ahead and I'm gonna take this out, and we'll see how long it takes for them to get that 145 main jet here, so we can put this thing together, go ahead and get it mounted back on the bike and install this exhaust. And 142 rear main, just as we suspected. So we'll wait on the new kit. Alright guys, and I'm going to go ahead and replace this Moose Racing air filter that I've had on here for a while. You can see it's got the oil on it. I always keep everything oiled up with some K&N filter oil. Works pretty good on everything, and that's the trick to making these foam filters work. Any filter really, is just keep them oiled. That's what's going to get the trash, catch all the trash. So, but as you can see, I mean, it's just, you know, it's tearing, it's disintegrating. I mean, you can just, you know, this filter's, it's no good, it's old. So like I said, the kit came with this brand new uni filter, so I'm gonna go ahead and install that. Alright, so new uni filter installed. Alright guys, so I know it's been a while. I have been through it with these people here at RPO Power Sports. I have got some jets here. They sent me the wrong jet twice. I I needed 145 that was supposed to be included in the kit, you know, for the basic jet kit, which wasn't in there. So right now I got a bunch of jets, I got a million HMF stickers and RPO Power Sports stickers in this bag. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna install this 145 on this rear carb, get this thing going. Alright, so I've already done the first startup of it. Sorry I didn't get it on film, but it sounds great. However, it is still pouring gas, so I have bought a Carb Repair Kit for KVF 650. See, this thing is $71.95. It's made by Moose Racing. So we can go ahead and install this. I think it's just the gaskets that are leaking. Once we do that, it should have it fixed. And so I mainly need the gaskets for the leaking, I'm pretty sure. But as you can see, my pilot air screw, it's not as clean as this one. You know, and these parts are brand new. So the ones that I can replace, I'm going to replace, like the needle. I replaced the pilot air screws, probably the pilot jet and the main jet housing. So I don't know if I'll do the jet needles and the springs or not, but we'll see. But I figured since I got it, the kit itself is about 80 bucks. The gaskets in stock are about 22 a piece. So you're looking at like $40 for just the gaskets from Kawasaki, and there's also a $17 restocking fee. So really coming out cheaper just getting the kit and replacing a few parts. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, and when removing the pilot screw from right here, you have the spring, the washer, and the O-ring in that order. So it's the spring, a washer right here, and then the O-ring right on the end, which you have these new parts over here. So when replacing the screw, we'll go ahead and replace it with those parts. And as you can see, the spring here and this screw was really dirty. So we'll clean that out with some carb cleaner and replace those. So we're going to go ahead and install this pilot screw here. As you can see, spring, washer, and O-ring, like I was telling you, in that order. So be careful when you reinstall. And for the settings on this from the factory, and it's 2 1/4 turns out. And when you're screwing this in, y'all, screw it in but lightly seat it. And when I'm talking light, I'm talking like, you see my hand here, like screw it this way, and when it gets all the way, when you feel resistance, when it gets in, stop and turn it 2 1/4 turn out. And I did this on both of these carbs before I put them back on, and every time I would try to start my four-wheeler, I always had to give it throttle. It would never start up by just pulling it or just pushing the starter button. So setting these right, because they were not set, it fired right up. Even after sitting for a while, all I had to use was to choke and just bump the starter and it fired right up. So this is how we'll set it. So when I think what I believe is true, this old float gasket, if you can tell which one is old and which one is new, is the culprit of this fuel leak that I'm having. This is the old one. You can see it's flattened, it's brittle, it's drier. It's hard to see that stuff, but it's easy to tell when you touch it. This is the new one. You can tell it's round. So this one being flattened out like that has lost its ability to seal when it's made it against the bottom of the carburetor. So this one ought to do the trick. Should have no more leaks for a long time. And since I got the carbs off and the opportunities here and I got the parts, I'm just going to go ahead and replace what I can. So I got the main jet housing here, a new one I'm going to put in, and this is the main jet. I got an 8mm wrench here, socket, open end, box end, a little ratcheted one. Like I showed y'all earlier, you know, put that here to hold it, take it and turn it counterclockwise. And remember, y'all, all this stuff is brass, so it's very, you know, it's a softer metal. So just, you don't have to crank it down because you'll damage stuff. It's very, very meticulous, should be the word here, to deal with carburetor rebuilds. So make sure you do that and just be very careful. And like I said, since I had the parts, I'll go ahead and clean it up and change some of these parts here, put new parts in it. But this was a little dirty inside. I just wiped it down. I'm gonna wipe the top off. I'm gonna go ahead and change the jet needle. This is the stock one here, and this is the new one. So I'm gonna change those and put new springs in it. This old spring. I might as well, since I have it apart and have the opportunity. But be careful when you pull this out, the diaphragm. Be careful that you don't rip it, and you don't want to spray this with carb cleaner because it can destroy the rubber. So keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and change these. And you got the needles here. Got a brand new shiny one to go in. Alright, so I went ahead and put all the parts in the carb except for these two. And this is like, it holds the main jet, because when I went to take the stock one out, it's brass, and I put this 8mm on it, and it actually started to bend. It was in there so tight, so rather than mess that up, I said heck with it. I left it alone. The other one was clean enough. All it really is just a hole. It doesn't really do anything. It has no holes in it, so there's nothing that really wears. So I left that alone. I went ahead and replaced the drain screw just because I had two new ones. So these are in. The only other thing I didn't replace, because I've never rebuilt a Brute Force carb before, but there's these two pieces, and I really don't know where they go or what they go to. If anybody else has any idea, y'all feel free to comment, let me know. Hope it's nothing major. I don't think that it is, because like I said, it ran fine. It was just leaking, which I believe is the gasket, so it shouldn't really make too much of a difference. But anyway, everything is back together, tightened down. Gonna go ahead and reinstall. Alright, so you want to, when you test it out, make sure you put your lid on. I got my air filter in there, and I actually took and put the bracket in, screwed it down, so everything is sealed up. I just didn't screw this down to the top of the carbs, but it is sitting on there flush. Hoses is connected. The problem I'm having, and I've been out here with this for a while, going back and forth with the idle screws. I've noticed that the factory, whenever I replaced a pilot jet with a Moose Racing pilot jet, it was the holes look smaller than the factory key-in pilot jets. And the problem I'm having, and if y'all know the working ranges of a carburetor, idle to a quarter throttle is controlled by the pilot jet and the fuel screw. The pilot jet, I was pretty sure the holes were smaller, and all I'm getting is steady popping and back popping up through the carbs. It will not run smooth, but after quarter to three-quarter, well, pretty much a quarter to full throttle, everything is running smooth. And you know, your quarter to your three-quarters is your needle control. Main jet is only works three-quarter to full throttle. That's when your main jet really comes into play. All that is running perfect. It's running very smooth. I'm gonna start it up and let y'all hear it, because I know you've been dying to, and I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. I have messed with this thing enough, y'all, and I'm probably just going to pull all this back apart and replace the pilot jets. And I'm pretty sure that'll fix it, because when I first started it, when I still had all those leaks, I don't remember it doing that, and it fired right up. It's just not running right now. So cut it on. I could hit it and just bump the starter and have it fire up. I don't know if it'll do that now. Alright, well, we did get it to start right up. Set this off to the side. Y'all been wanting to see this exhaust. There's the Hmf thumping along. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So you can hear that. Right there. Back popping, you hear it? Once I get past that quarter throttle, smooth. Full throttle, no problems at all. Pilot jet is to blame. Alright, so what you have here, and I've tried to write this as clearly as I could for y'all, but I'm going to show you here the working range of the carburetor. If you look, so if you're, and this is just a diagram off of Google, there's plenty of these out there, but you have, when your throttle is closed, you're just using the pilot air screw and the pilot jet. So right here, when it's a closed throttle, that's all you're using. Now when you start getting on the throttle, you can see that the throttle valve cutaway and the pilot air screw and the jet is coming into play. You don't really come into the main jet till you start getting up to a quarter throttle or more. I mean, not the main jet, I'm sorry, the jet needle and the needle jet. So if you can see here, the main jet is here, and when you start getting to about half a throttle, the main jet comes into play. Now on my four-wheeler, from idle up to about an eighth to a quarter throttle, it's spitting and popping, and I have taken the idle air jet and I have backed it out like I think I told y'all. I'm so far into these videos now I can't remember, but I've turned it out to I had it at like 3.5 turns. Well, I ended up turning that thing out. It was almost about to fall out of the carburetor. It was about 5 turns out, and they only recommend 2.25 factory, so I was trying to compensate for that. When it comes down to it, all I'm at, where I am, is just replacing the pilot jets. But I wanted to show you all this, and then on this diagram, if you can see here, what I've kind of done is shown the throttle right here, and this is, say, the handlebar. This is like a view looking down at the four-wheeler. So you have your handlebar, and then you have the throttle. So closed, you know, the throttle's out there, an eighth of a throttle, quarter, half, 3/4, and then full. So kind of somewhere in between. It's fine in an idle, but eighth to a quarter, somewhere in there. That's kind of how you figure out exactly like where it is. But it's spitting and popping right there. Once I get up to about half throttle, 3/4, full throttle, it is smooth as silk, no problems at all. So I know for a fact, by knowing the working range of the carburetor, I know exactly what's coming into play that's causing me problems. Alright, so I'm back out here again. If there's one thing I've gotten good at, is taking all the plastics off, pulling the carbs off this bike. I'm a pro at that since it's the 4th time I've had to do that now. So I got in touch with PJ Motorsports. They hooked me up with another. I got 2 45 jets, pilot jets. So I'm gonna pull the float bowls off. We're gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna show you all this again because I've done it so many times. But we're gonna take these off. I'm gonna put the 45s in, and we're gonna see how those do. Hopefully they're good. I'm going from a 42, which I had in here, to a 45. So over stock, it was 40. So that's 5 sizes up, y'all. It should help this thing out. I'm gonna go ahead while I got these out, and I'm gonna turn these screws back in because I had them out to like 3 3/4 turns or something now, trying to compensate. So I'm gonna turn them back into factory 2 1/4, and I'm gonna put these 45s in. Hopefully it'll clear this thing up.